Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Charisma. I'm a feminine personal development life coach and I'm super happy to have you. So today I'm going to be doing a reaction to Euphoria. Yes, you guys, you heard that right. I have been wanting to watch this show for so long. By the way, I am wearing a shirt. It is just not showing, but yes, I'm clothed, fully clothed in this video. Anyway, so Euphoria season 2 episode 5. Holy shit. We have a lot to talk about, and this is coming from a perspective of a life coach, somebody who literally helps people with their personal development. I help people level up in every area of their life, and so I have a lot of advice for Rue. Like, as I was watching this show, I was just like, oh my god, I would tell them this, I would coach them through this, I would tell them to do this, like all this advice. And I was like, hey, you know, maybe I'll make a video, because this show definitely imitates life. It definitely doesn't reflect my life or anyone that I know, thank God, but I know definitely this has got to be real. This has to be some people's real life situation. So I feel like I should react to this episode, and future episodes I'll be reacting to now, because I could really help them. So let's get into what happened. Spoiler alert, this video is entirely going to ruin the show if you have not watched it already. Let's dive into this. Episode 5 was insane. Like, it was probably the most intense episode so far. I actually binge watched Euphoria. I'm a binge watcher, so I don't like to watch shows like week by week, but Euphoria had enough shows from season 1, enough episodes from season 1, and then half of season 2 was already out, so I was like, you know what, I'll just do it. So I binge watched it for like 2 or 3 days, and highly would not recommend binge watching this series, simply because it's extremely triggering, especially if you're someone who does suffer from addiction. It's going to be just very triggering, and even some of the stuff that was going on in the show I could relate to myself, just like all the chaos in the household. I grew up in a very chaotic, violent, very emotionally unstable household, so seeing how Rue was like messing up her mother's entire house, like that was the kind of shit that went on in my house, where like doors were destroyed and furniture were destroyed and people's things were destroyed because other people could not control their anger, they could not be composed, they were not emotionally intelligent. And so that's why I kind of grew up with this strong sense of, I'm so passionate about personal development, holding yourself accountable, and being emotionally current. Okay, so anyway, getting into this episode, Rue completely flips out. So what happened was, Rue had made a deal with a drug lord basically, and she gave her about $10,000 worth of drugs for her to sell, and she said, you have a month to basically sell these drugs and give me my cut, and if you don't give me my money, I'm basically gonna sell you into human trafficking. So when Rue found out that her mother got rid of the suitcase, and she was doing the drugs in the suitcase as well, I guess, you know, there probably was a little bit extra for her to do for herself. Her mother completely got rid of the suitcase, and Rue flips her shit. She completely flips out. She destroys her mother's house. She's yelling, she's screaming at her sister. She is just tearing up this house. That was probably the most triggering part, because that was just something that I could relate to growing up. And it just was insane. She was like yelling at her mom. She was just using all types of profanity and just really saying hurtful things. And then she hears Jewel's voice. If you don't know, Jewel is her girlfriend, who is transgender woman going through high school. So she hears her girlfriend, and she's like, oh shit, my girlfriend just heard all the stuff that went on. So she goes, talks to her girlfriend, and basically says, you're dead to me, like I hate you, you're the worst thing that ever happened to me, I hate this relationship. And Jules is really upset about that. So basically after that, which it gets so crazy, what happens is Rue basically runs away. Her mother tricks her into trying to go to a rehab, but she accidentally told her that it was a rehab, and Rue was under the impression that she was going to a hospital, not a rehab center. So she jumps out the car, almost dies. She runs around to her drug dealer's house, runs around to her friend's house, and just running all over the place. Basically is like on the run. Like on the run. She is going through withdrawal. If you don't know, basically withdrawal is when you're someone who's strung out on drugs and your body, you know, you're wearing off of the drugs, your body goes into what's called withdrawal, which is you kind of need more drugs in order to stop all of the symptoms, which the symptoms are really bad: diarrhea, throwing up. You basically get extremely sick. I remember learning about this in school. It basically feels like you're dying and it hurts really bad, and in order to subside that, you need other drugs. Basically, you need more drugs in order to feel better, or you just kind of go through the withdrawal. So she's like going through this withdrawal, running around, she's breaking into people's houses, she's stealing, she's running from cops. She's just going through a really hard time. And she goes to this woman's house, back to this drug lord woman's house, and the woman said something so profound. And when she said this, I know this is gonna sound bad, you guys, but this drug lord lady is actually my favorite character now. And I know she shouldn't be because she's super bad or whatever, but I really just, it's gonna sound weird, but I like her energy. So this is what she said that made me really like her. She said, you know, Rue was like, you know, I don't know, like I have $2,000 in cash and all this jewelry. And she's like, well, what are you doing? She was like, I wanted to give you this because I thought you would be mad. You know, you said bad things were gonna happen to me, and I didn't want you to be mad. I didn't want you to be angry. And she said, Rue, I don't think I've ever been angry in my entire life. And that was like, because it aligns with everything that I teach, believe it or not. If you guys have been following me, basically my philosophy and my belief system are that angry people are crazy people. If you're somebody who gives another human being the power to completely change your emotion and shift your energy, that is a definition of insane. That is craziness. So the fact that she said that, like, I don't think I've ever been angry my entire life, it just like, it just hit me. I was like, oh my god, like this lady, like she's a freaking drug lord, she was a drug addict, and yet she's so calm and composed and emotionally current. And that just shows you that no matter if you're a quote-unquote good person or a bad person, if you do the right thing or the wrong thing, like what really is the right thing or the wrong thing? Nothing's really good or bad to me. And so when she said that, I was just like, this woman is extremely present. She's extremely emotionally current, where she's so like, she's such a wall. She's so invisible with her energy and her emotion that she could sell her into freaking trafficking and just be like, and I was like, oh my god, like this lady's a badass. Like she just doesn't give a fuck. Like she's probably the definition of like, I just don't care. Like she just doesn't care. And you know, it's a bad situation. I'm not trying to like glamorize her or anything. She's definitely not somebody I would look up to, but that her philosophy and my philosophy definitely align. I feel like there's never a need to be angry. There's always room and space to be emotionally current in this moment. And I feel like a lot of these characters on Euphoria are extremely emotionally unstable, and that's why it was a little bit triggering for me, because I was definitely in that space at one point in my life, and I just want to like shake them and like hug them and like tell them what to do. And so the main thing, the main takeaway that I'm getting from this show, especially from episode 5 season 2, is one, from the mom. So let's shift gears and let's talk about the mom. So at what point, and I was talking to my mom about this, telling her about the show, but at what point do you as a mother put yourself first? At what point do you as a mother have to let go of your child in order to save yourself and your family? Like, at what point does this child become such a liability to you that if you don't let her go, she's going to not only take herself down, but you and the rest of your children down with you? Like, at some point, this mother has to, I know she loves her, but drowning people who are suffering are the worst to be around, because they treat everyone around you like a life raft. They will literally drag you down with them, and that is what Rue is doing to her mom, to her family, to everyone around her. She's completely destructive, and she is just clinging on to anything. Everything loves company, including misery, including happiness. So she's just clinging on to anything to bring her up to the surface. And I feel like it's time for the mom to cut the cord. At the end of the day, she's not the one who is responsible for her daughter getting on drugs. Yes, she did everything she could. She put her in rehab facilities. She got her counseling. She's on top of her shit. She's, you know, drug testing her, doing everything she can. But at one point, is your best just not good enough? And you have to put yourself before anyone else, because this is the kind of situation where she's causing her mother so much stress that her mother might be the one who dies first because of all this stress. Stress is one of the leading causes of illnesses, of death, of early death, of aging. Stress is huge. That's why on this channel, I'm super big about just living in the present moment, living your best life, and living for pure happiness and nothing else. Not living to pay your bills or have a check come every 2 weeks, just living for you, living for now. So I feel like I really want to see the mom be a little bit more selfish, because being selfish is actually selfless. A lot of people think that when you're selfish, you only care about yourself, but it's actually the reverse. Being selfish is actually the most selfless thing you can do. I know this because when I started putting myself first, when I started prioritizing myself and everything in my life, it had to come down to me first. It inspired other people around me to also put themselves first, and it inspired people to become the best version of themselves. But what the mom is doing is she's letting her daughter pull her down, and her other daughter is saying that, and she is going to literally use that framework in all the rest of her life. She is going to take that situation of her mom just giving from an empty cup, and she is, in her later years, is going to basically become her mother. It may not be in a child who's addicted to drugs, but it could definitely be in like a partner or something like that. So it's just really crazy. And it just kind of, this show just makes me have a lot more compassion for people who are addicted to drugs, because I knew about drugs, obviously, learning it in school, and I have family members who have actually died from drug overdoses and things like that. But to actually see, and HBO is crazy, like HBO is so explicit for like showing these scenes, but to like, I can't even unsee this, like I'm getting like chills. But to see like her put the needle in her arm, oh my god, like I just wanted to like cringe. I had to close my eyes because I don't like watching stuff like that. And to see her just like literally be taking these hardcore drugs, we're not talking about a little bit of weed, we're not talking about, you know, a little bit of whatever, we're talking about like heroin, we're talking about different opioids. Like this is hardcore stuff. And I almost feel like they should make the rating for this 25 and up, because there's a lot in here. There's a lot in here. But that is my take and analysis on season 2, episode 5. Definitely a crazy one. a lot of people in this show are emotionally unstable. They need therapy, they need life coaching. I'm actually available for one-on-one private session life coaching. If you guys want to contact me, my email's down below and I'll be happy to help you out with everything that you need. I basically coach you in every area of your life. Right now, I'm only coaching women. I do feel like women need other women and men need other men, because that is the life experience that I have as a woman and as a woman in this world. So definitely a great show just to put awareness onto drugs and drugs in the youth, and how easily you can become addicted just by like taking one pill and then taking two, and the next thing you know you're just a strung out drug addict. So yeah, it's a lot. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I definitely gonna make a season 2 episode 6, because I did watch that as well, but I think season 5 was like the craziest so far since I watched. So I want to kind of like process it, and like, I don't know, it's just a lot. So stay emotionally current. Do not allow other people to shift your emotions, because you're literally handing over your power when you allow someone to, you basically open the gates for them. You're like opening the door into yourself for them, and honestly no one should have the key unless you grant them permission. So thank you so much for watching. Definitely like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.